Welcome students. I am Seema Gaur from LP Savani Vidya Bhavan School and today we are going to start chapter 3 of SS Indian Constitution. First I would like to talk about importance of rules and regulations in the games. There is one story of India winning the final match of World Cup 2011. Haley and Priyanshi and Sachin, they were watching the final match of World Cup of 2011 on TV with their parents. An exciting match is going on between India and Sri Lanka. Who will win the World Cup, India or Sri Lanka? Sri Lanka had put up a challenging target for India to achieve, but the fearless batting of the Indian captain Mahendra Singh Dhoni, India won the World Cup. Everyone was rejoicing in victory. Haley said to her mother while watching TV, "Mummy, the previous match between England and India resulted in a tie. What does that mean?" Neetaben said, "Haley, for a popular game like cricket, the ICC has systematically formed rules. A tie in a match means that both the teams have an equal score." So, it is said that from this story we can say that there are some rules and regulations for the game of cricket. Popular game like cricket, the ICC, that is the Indian Cricket Association, has systematically formed some rules. Even the games are there for the games like football, hockey, kabaddi, they have their own set of rules. What is Constitution? If the games have so many rules, then to run the administration of a populous nation, we surely required very well-framed rules. As India is a very populous country, there has to be some rules and regulations to run the country. So, a systematic compilation of set of rules to run the government of a country is known as the Constitution of the country. And all the country in the world have their own constitution. Constitution can be in written or unwritten form. Our constitution starts with the preamble. Preamble means introduction. How was the Constitution of India formed? The Constitution of India is the statement of national goals and aims such as democracy, socialism, secularism, national unity, etc. That means in the Constitution of India, there is written what the nation have to achieve their goals such as democracy, socialism, secularism, etc. The Constitution Assembly was established and started working from 9th of December 1946. Students, it is the date before the independence. Our Constituent Assembly means the making of our Constitution was started from 9th of December, that is 1946, before independence. It was formed of prominent and distinguished scholars and leaders. That time, those who were learned people and the scholars, they were there in the formation of this Constitution of India. Leaders like Jawaharlal Nehru, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, Sardar Patel, Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, Shyama Prasad Mukherjee, Sardar Baldev Singh, etc. provided their guidance. Along with the leaders, there were also the other members of the Constitution Assembly in the formation of the Constitution. Frank Anthony represented the Anglo-Indian community and H.P. Modi represented the Parsi community. Other scholars were Aladi Krishna Swami Iyer, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, K.M. Munshi, etc. There were also female members like Sarojini Naidu and Vijaya Lakshmi Pandit. Dr. Rajendra Prasad was elected as the President of the Constituent Assembly. And there were a number of subcommittees to take care of various aspects of the Constitution. Final shape to the Constitution. The head of the drafting committee was Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, who gave the final shape to the Constitution. Total 166 meetings were held by the Constituent Assembly in a time period of 2 years, 11 months and 18 days. On 26th of November 1949, the committee passed the Constitution. That means the Constitution was ready on 26th of November 1949, but it was enforced, means that came into action on 26th January 1950, and so we celebrate this day as our Republic Day. Why do we need Constitution? What if there is no Constitution? That question arises in the mind. See, in the starting of the chapter we have learned that even in the games the rules and regulations are required. So for such a big country like India, which is so densely populated, if there is no constitution, there will be no peace in the country, no harmony in the country. No country can function without a constitution. It serves many objectives. It is a document which finally weaves the ethos and ideals of our country. Ethos means the moral. It tells us about the kind of government our country would have. How to run the administration of our country, that is also written in the Constitution. How does it work? How does the Constitution work? In a democratic form of government, we elect our leaders so that they can run the administration on our behalf. For that, elections are held every 5 years. So the people, by the method of voting, they can select their leaders and they come on the administration part. However, there are provisions in the Constitution to check the misuse of power by the leaders. If some of the leaders, if they are misusing the power of theirs, there is the provision in the Constitution to find out or make them down, bring them down from their position. Our next topic is salient features of our Constitution. Salient features means important points of our Constitution. The first point is democratic rule. India has adopted the democratic system of government. That means it is run by the public. General elections are held in our country every 5 years. Citizens above 18 years are eligible to cast their vote. People all over the country play their role in electing their representatives. Any voter of the country can contest an election irrespective of his, her religion, caste, class or gender. The citizens can not only vote but they can also stand as a contestants. Maybe they are of any religion, caste, class or gender. And the elected representatives they rule for 5 years. The elected representatives rule for 5 years. Every citizen enjoy the freedom to follow religion of his or her choice, as well as freedom of speech, expressions and thoughts. So any citizen of the country, they have the right to follow any religion whatever they like, as well as they have the freedom of speech and to express themselves and their thoughts. Second feature is secularism. A secular nation means that the government does not conform to the norms of any particular religion in its system of governance. That means government will not follow any one religion or the rules of one religion on the people of India. Citizens are not discriminated on the basis of their faith, sect or religion. Means while giving the judgment or other favors, government will never see whether the citizen is of whichever caste, sect or faith. Every citizens enjoy the right to follow and propagate the religion of his or her choice. So any citizen, whoever lives in India, they have right to follow any religion of his or her choice. Third point is republic. Republic means a government that obtains power from people directly or indirectly. As I told you, the elections are held and the people by voting, they select their representative, and in this way the government is formed. In democratic republic system of government, powers are not limited in the hands of a few privileged people. Rather, it is accessible to all the citizens irrespective of their caste, class, religion or gender. In our democratic republic system, the powers are not lying in very few or group of people. It is in the hands of the citizens of India, whether either they are of any of the class, caste, any religion or gender. Functions of government. Legislature, executive and judiciary are the organs of government. There are three main organs: legislature, executive and judiciary. Legislature makes laws. This department makes laws. Executive, with the help of civil service officers, implement the laws. Judiciary makes people follow the law and does the work of providing justice. Let me make you understand by the method of chart. It is also there in your textbook. Formation of central government. See how the formation of central government is there. In central government, the president is the head, and as I told you, there are three main organs. First one is legislature, executive and judiciary. Under the legislature comes the parliament, and in parliament there is Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Under executive, the head is Prime Minister, and under the Prime Minister comes all the Council of Minister. The head of the Council of Minister is Prime Minister. The third organ is judiciary. In judiciary, for the central government, we have only Supreme Court. Next is the formation of state government. In state government, the head is governor. It also has three main organs, that is legislature, executive and judiciary. In legislature, there are state government, legislative assembly, which is also called Vidhan Sabha or Vidhan Parishad. In executive, there are chief minister and the council of minister. Right now our chief minister is Vijay Rupani. Yes. And other council of ministers, they come under executives. And that under the council of minister, there is a local administration. Local administration is of two types. In the villages we have panchayat, and in the cities we have municipal corporation and municipal boards. In state government, the third organ of judiciary have High Court. Under the High Court comes District Court and the subordinate courts. As I told you, in the formation of any kind of government, whether it is central or state government, there are three main organs, that is legislature, executive and judiciary. The main work of legislature is to make laws which are required, and the work of executive is to put the laws into action which are made by the legislative department. And all of them, this executive, all of this, they take care that all the laws are put into execution. And the work of judiciary is to see that all the laws are followed by the people and every citizen of India. And they also give justice to the people of India. Our next topic is federal state. India is a federal state. Distribution of subjects on which central or state government can frame laws. As we have learned that India also has central government and state government. So the distribution of subjects is being done that which government can frame laws. There are three such lists, that is the union list, state list and concurrent list. Laws framed by the central government are applicable to the entire nation. So whenever a central government is forming or framing any kind of law, it is applicable to entire nation. But if the state government is framing any law, it is only applicable to its particular state, by which state the laws has been framed. Our last topic is fundamental rights. Fundamental rights of Indian citizens are provided by the Constitution of India, and that was adopted on the 26th of November 1949 but was put in use on the 26th of January 1950, that is our Republic Day. It was made and put ready on 26 November, but it was put into use on 26 January 1950. It guaranteed that Indian citizens can lead a peaceful life as long as they inhabit the country. These rights are given to the citizen so that they can live a peaceful life as long as they are living in India. Individual fundamental rights of citizens are most of the time similar in all the democratic countries. So whichever countries are having a democratic rule, they all have the similar fundamental rights as the Indian citizens have. So what are the individual fundamental rights to Indian citizens? First right is equality before law. So all are equal in the eyes of law. They don't see that whether he is from low class or upper class or which gender he or she is. Second is freedom of religion. So any citizen of India, they are free to choose any of the religion whichever they like. Freedom of association and peaceful assembly. The citizens of India can make a group and have an assembly wherever they like. Freedom of speech and expression. So the Indian citizens have right to speak and expression. Right to constitution remedies for the protection of civil rights. Right to constitution remedies means if your rights are not being enjoyed and someone is harassing you, you have the right to complain against them. This was the end of our chapter. So let us quickly revise what we have learned in this chapter. We have learned the importance of rules and regulations in the games. What is Constitution? How was the Constitution of India formed? Members of Constitution Assembly. Final shape to the Constitution. Why do we need Constitution? How does it work? Salient features of our Constitution. First one was democratic rule. Second, secularism. Third, republic. Functions of government. formation of central government and state government, federal state, fundamental rights, individual fundamental rights to Indian citizens. And now the end of the chapter. Write down the notes which I have sent in the PDF form. And till then, goodbye.